Howdy, howdy, and welcome to Workshop Wednesday. Today we're talking about the recent updates and features that were released in February 2020 to all the cool platforms that we know and love, like Google Analytics and Data Studio. Of course, if this is your first workshop, welcome. My name is Chris Mercer. I do go by Mercer, and I'm the co-founder here at measurementmarketing.io, where you can find our content featured on such platforms as Digital Marketer, Conversion XL, otherwise known as CXL Institute, Social Media Examiner, and of course, all of the different courses that we have available at measurementmarketing.io. Now, our main job here is to help marketers, marketing teams, and agencies know their numbers and grow their numbers. And we do that by helping you learn how to use these tools and specifically putting them into the measurement marketing framework. Now, we're going to cover this very, very quickly here. That framework is planning, building, reporting, forecasting, and optimizing. So first you plan ahead, then you do your build, your implementations, then you gather all that data into a report. You look at that report, you begin to forecast your near future, and then you measure against your forecasts, and that's where you will know what to optimize. That's how that whole thing works. Now, with this workshop, we're of course talking about different features and updates, and there's a lot. And fortunately, actually in this case, there's not that many, so it'll still be a fairly quick workshop for you. But there are some interesting ones. So I want you to just sort of focus on one new update that you can take a look at, practice, explore a little bit, then you come back, rewatch this, grab the next update, practice that one for a little bit to make it your own. It's always good to practice one thing at a time to make sure that you're not getting overwhelmed and frustrated by all of the different changes that happen with these tools. So with that, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? What's new? Updates and features released in February 2020. Now, of course, we're just going to dive right in. And we're starting with Google Analytics. And the reason we're doing that, and specifically because I actually have this date range right in here, so it's a unique date range. The reason that we're doing this is because I wanted you to see the big change that was actually probably not grabbing a ton of headlines and something you might not even be using, but I wanted you aware of it so you know what happened. So there is something called the service provider and the network domain. Well, as of February 4th, which is why I actually have this here through the 8th, these have gone away. It's no longer recording these. Now, that sounds confusing because you can see that there clearly are values here, but these are the legacy values. These are the values that actually came in before the 4th. So what I'm going to do to show you what it looks like now, which is not set, is I'm going to set up a quick filter, and we're just going to exclude the networking domain that contains, of course, the magic not set. There we go. And when we do this, we're going to see just the legacy stuff, and you're going to see this drop off. All of a sudden, there was the last little bit coming in, and then nothing else. So going forward, there is nothing else being recorded. Everything from February 5th, technically on, will be not set. So you no longer have access to service provider or network domain. Again, don't know exactly Google's thinking behind that, other than a lot of people probably weren't using it. If you were using it, check out simoahava.com. He's got a great blog post on how to track ISP using Google Tag Manager. So if it is something specifically for like spam reporting or something along those lines, you could do that. But remember, if you are interested in using this stuff, if you were using the service provider or network domain to sort of investigate spam, be sure that spam is turned on, or the bot detection, I should say, is turned on in your view settings of Google Analytics. But that was the biggest change with Google Analytics, what we're going to call, I guess, universal analytics, because there is the apps and web analytics, which is a change that they occurred here. Now, this one, I'm just going to show you a screenshot of one of the reports. This is a path analysis report, easy for me to say. So this is the reverse path analysis report. So what happens is you can actually set up an event that is your ending point, and then you can go back in time and then kind of see what actually led to that event. So this could be something you want or something that you don't want to happen, and you can sort of analyze the path of how people actually got to this endpoint. So that is a new analysis report that's available in apps and web properties. So if you are using that, and you probably should at least start thinking about it, we're actually going to be doing an entire course on it within the next month or so. So we'll have that released to you shortly, and that's really just going to help you get up and started. You know, this apps and web platform is a completely new Google Analytics. It is a big deal. It is completely different, and it is very complicated. So I don't want to scare you away from that. I just want to let you know, like, there's a lot to this. It works completely differently than the analytics that we all know and love right now. So we're going to take it slowly and really help to make it as simple as possible for you. But just know that this is a new report coming through, and it's just another example of how Google is really focused on this new apps and web version of Google Analytics, and not so much on what's going on with Universal Analytics. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you was really just Data Studio. And I say just Data Studio because every single month there is a new update for Data Studio. That team just rocks it out, and they've continued to do things. Now, again, these might not grab headlines, but I want you to know that these are a thing now because it could be pretty useful for your unique situation. So the first is in the share when you go to schedule email, and you've been able to do this for a while, but what's really nice is they are now enabling pages. So you can say just this page or just that page, which is really cool. The fact you can say, no, not all pages, I just wanted to show page 2. Why is this useful? Because a lot of us, if you've got a client that you're sending reports to, you want to have a page that's kind of your own, that you're kind of working on a report, and you don't necessarily need the client to see a report that's kind of in progress or under construction. Now you don't have to. So when you schedule this email delivery, you can disconnect that under construction page that you were playing around with, just show them the production pages, the ones that are ready for them to view, and you can send it as a PDF, which is great. It will also preview. So as you go to schedule, it'll preview the pages so you can kind of make sure, at least the first 5 pages, if you have that in your report, just so you can kind of get an idea to make sure that it is the things that, what you're sending to them is really what you're sending to them. So there's that. The next thing that was equally as useful here, and again, I think it's in terms of usefulness, in terms of it's not going to be for everybody, but it is a nice thing to have, and I want you to know that it exists, is I just clicked into my data table here, and I'm going to go to my data source. Now, there is something that is new called filter by email. Now, this particular data source does not have an email to filter by. However, if it did, what I could do is first at the data source level, you turn it on by clicking in filter by email and then click here. It says filter by the viewer email. This is the viewer of the report. So why is this super cool? Here's why. Let's pretend you have a contest, a sales contest of something, and you want to be able to show individual results. Or maybe you are creating a super report that manages a bunch of different branches for whatever reason of a company, but you don't want every single branch manager to have access to every other branch manager's information. Well, now in the Data Studio setup here, with this turned on, with filter by email turned on, you just tell it, okay, this is the email field. Now keep in mind, the data source has to have the viewer's email. They're logged in Google account viewer email, has to have that. But assuming it does, you say, cool, here's the email field that I want you to use. And then what will happen is if they are logged in, if branch manager A is logged in and they are going to, and I'm just going to click on done here since you don't need that, but let's say branch manager A is logged in and they want to see the number, their results, because they are the ones logged in viewing the report, only this report would only show, even though it's got access to everybody's, it would only show them theirs because they have, it's like the data table itself is filtering by email only. And again, that email being the one that they are logged in with. So super cool that you can do things like that. It helps you keep, data that's a little more confidential, maybe you don't want everybody else knowing about, or just for the sake of ease. If you just want to be able to say, okay, this viewer, yes, you can get access to other emails, but I only want you to see yours. It's a way to sort of lock down some stuff. So that was a really cool update that Data Studio have come out with. And again, it gives Data Studio functionality that it didn't have before, at least not as easily. So with that, those are essentially the changes that we have. And of course, when we mean changes, we mean the different features and updates. Now, what was your one thing? Was it the fact that, maybe you were using that network service provider and that other stuff coming in from Google Analytics? Well, again, that's deprecated. It will just show not set. So it won't show no data. It'll still be not set. So it's not like it'll be blank anymore. It'll just not be useful anymore. There are workarounds for that. So again, just check out simoahava.com, SIMOAHAVA.com. He's got a great article on how to kind of get around that if you are using that feature. And then you have the idea in Data Studio that you've got this ability to share email by pages. You have the ability to preview those pages as well. And of course, the filtering by email, which is just kind of a cool feature that is something you might be able to take advantage of now that you know it's part of the tool chest. And then finally, with apps and web, we talked about that kind of in the middle of the changes. And that was the idea that you've got this reverse path now available. Just one of the many reports that they are starting to come out with in terms of the analysis features that platform platform is allowing. All right. Now, if you are interested in improving your skills on any of these platforms, please check out measure.tips/courses. It'll take you directly to our measurementmarketing.io win courses. These are all individual courses. We've got a monthly pass that's back there, so you can get access to kind of an all-you-can-eat plan, a buffet of measurement, if you will. So plenty of information down there. They are perfect for beginners and advanced alike because there are different wins based on different skill levels. So you have everything back there that you need. Also comes with support. Then we have the Measurement Marketing Academy, measure.tips/start for those of you interested in the Measurement Marketing Academy. That is perfect for teams. So if your company is trying to get to a measurement culture, multiple people are involved in measurement in most cases in terms of taking traffic or creating reports or just coming up with a strategy of questions to answer and everything else. Well, that's a team effort. Measurement Marketing Academy is perfect for your team if that is the case. So go to measure.tips/start to join that program, or at least to learn a little bit more information about it. Finally, Academy members, those of you who are already Academy members, welcome. Every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we do have office hours. That is just for the Academy members, so office hours member Q&A every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We look forward to seeing you on the next office hours. Next week's Workshop Wednesday is a getting started topic. Remember, we rotate these topics each and every week, so there's something for everybody at least once a month. Today's was what's new, and then next week's is getting started. We're going to talk about Tag Manager, and we're going to do an introduction to Google Tag Manager. So for those of you who have been kind of wondering like what Tag Manager is, how you could use it, the different parts and pieces, that sort of stuff, this particular workshop is going to be very, very useful for you. So make sure that you are there for that. And if you are not yet a part of Workshop Wednesday, which if you are a Toolbox member, by the way, you already are, but if you're not a part of Workshop Wednesday, if you don't have that available in the members area, please take advantage of it. Just go to measure.tips/ww, and you can sign up for Workshop Wednesday. Super important because you get access to every single workshop that we offer. It's there for the entire week. You can watch as many times as you want, and then it's replaced out with the next workshop. And there's 4 topics, so 4 categories, I should say. The getting started, then beyond basics for those of you a little bit more advanced, strategy session for those of you who aren't implementers but want to work more on the strategy side of things, and then of course the what's new, which is what we did today, covering the latest features and updates released in the previous month. That is again measure.tips/ww. So with that, we will go ahead and bring this one to a close. You've just watched What's New, updates and features released in February 2020. Thanks again for watching this workshop, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.